Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, Facebook. Today I'm going to be talking about relationships. Now, we had the full moon in Scorpio, no, full moon in Taurus with the sun in Scorpio, again, relationship. So we've been quite full on with our emotions and our relationships. And I'm wondering how you acting and feeling about your relationships. Are they supporting you or are they disempowering you? And this is very important because sometimes we give so much into a relationship and what we get back isn't really that much. So I just thought, are you getting back what you're giving in your relationship? I'm not saying, hello, Barbara Kalu. I'm not saying you give because you want. I'm saying let's be realistic and look at things. There's altruistic giving. There's giving from your heart. But there's also giving whereby you are not repeating a pattern within your family. You're not repeating a pattern whereby you are giving and you're getting not much in return. How are you giving in your relationships and how are they serving you? How is your partner serving you? How are you serving your partner? Is one partner crippling the other, or are both of you enhancing each other? What I'm finding, I've been doing sessions with my clients for the past few days. I have a full-on day tomorrow. And we're talking, hello, Simon Hinton, nice to see you. We've been talking about relationships, how relationships are wholesome or how they're not wholesome, how they serve and how they don't serve, how they disempower. So when I've been talking with my clients, I'm realizing there's a pattern coming along where people are staying in relationships and they're still unhappy, where people are repeating the relationships with have their parents in their own relationship. So for example, you may be in a relationship with a partner who is not communicative or who is not supportive. And then when you look at the relationship you have with your parents, you suddenly realize that actually you're not communicative or supportive with your parents, and they're not communicative or supportive with themselves. So unconsciously, subliminally, you may be repeating a pattern in your relationship whereby you're feeling disempowered, you're feeling lonely, you're not feeling the man that you want to be, you're not feeling the woman, you're not being nurtured, it's not being returned, it's not being enhanced. So I thought with this full moon, there's so many emotions, so many relationships, and there are different types of relationships. But today, my discussion is about intimate relationships. I think there's too much reflection. It's talking about intimate relationships. How are your intimate relationships? Are they fulfilling you? Or do you feel that there's always something like crippling effect in your relationship? Are you giving the other person what they need? And are they giving you what you need? Is there an alignment of your needs, or is there a disalignment in your needs? When you're having a relationship with someone, are you communicating with that person and integrating your thoughts? Like, do you sit down and say, darling, I love you very much. Could you let me know what you need for me to help you to love me more? So in what I do, I can be aligning to your need, and I can be serving you in that way, empowering you. And you say that, and the partner joins and gives you feedback. And it could be a little thing like, I'd really like it if you made tea for me and brought me tea every morning to bed. That would really make me feel loved by you. Or it could be, I would really like it if you helped me with the shopping and you opened the doors for me and you made me feel seen and heard and loved. So when you have a dialogue with your partner, you begin to understand where they're coming from. You begin to see, this is something I can do to help them love me more. And they can tell me what I can do so they can love me more and I can love them more. You see, it's a two-way. It involves communication, and also involves dialogue. And then I know that some of you are involved in, like, you're married, you've got legal contracts, you have property, you have things. And I say, how is this divided if one of you dies? Do you have a will? Are you covered in your partner's will? Have you covered your partner in your will? Or is it that they've covered everything and you've got nothing? Or you've covered everything but you haven't left it to those who are truly looking after you. So a will is something that's important. You want to update your will, make sure it's up to date. And you want to make sure that in your will, you are honoring those who have supported you and honored you. And sometimes they're not blood people. Sometimes they're people that are not in your blood ties, but you think, oh, I have to leave everything to my family. No, you don't. You could leave to charity. You could leave to somebody, to a neighbor. You could leave something to somebody who's helped you, who may not have much. And I think this is important. It's important when you're in relationships to think, okay, I'm in this relationship. Does it work? I may die. Something may happen. I may leave a will. You see, you don't have to just leave everything. So when one of you dies, you're like, oh, I've got to pay for funeral expenses. I have to do this. And then you can't be in a relationship. And then one side is fulfilled, one side is fulfilled sexually and the other isn't. Come on. There has to be a play. So I said to one of my clients, I got an idea. Hello, Tina Walker. I got an idea. I said, why don't you have date night? If you're so busy, date night once a month. Date night, okay? Date night. Someone said, well, I need it every week. Well, date night once a week. Date night to get you putting something new into a relationship. And then I had another idea. How about having, naughty night? One night a week. One night a week or one night a month if you're just so busy. One night a month where on that night, one of you pleases the other. Oh, ruthlessly, superbly. And that night is a night you are pleasing your partner. And maybe a week or two later will be their night to please you. So you see, you've got to think of ways of how to empower your relationship, how to make it stronger. So these are just some ideas that I sort of put forward. I'm just sharing with you here on Facebook. Of course, when you come for your intensive one-to-one sessions, your proper sessions, then we look at what is specific to your need in terms of your relationship. Also, I'm finding that a lot of people are starting relationships and they're staying in those relationships and they're frightened to speak the truth in the relationship in case the partner walks off and leaves them. Come on. If the partner walks up and leaves you, perhaps it was meant to happen. However, depending on the way that you dialogue and the tone that you use, when you speak your truth, they still will stay. When you speak this truth, they will want to be with you. When they speak their truth, will you want to be with them? Because you see, it's a two-way thing. It's a give and take. It's not compromising. Come on. Relationship is more than just compromising. It's an engagement. It's an involvement. It is a participation. You cannot have a game of football and nobody plays their part, or a boxing. There has to be engagement. There has to be a need to want the relationship to work. I remember saying to my partner, do you want the relationship to work? My ex-partner. Yeah. Ask him, do you want the relationship to work? I asked. He said, yes, I do. But you see, the relationship worked for a while, but it didn't work for a while as well, because you see, he wanted the relationship to work, but he was influenced by outside influences. So some of you are in relationships and you break up because you're not white enough, you're not black enough, you're not Jewish enough, you're not Christian enough, you're not born again Christian enough, you're not, whatever relationship issue, you break up. Okay? You're the wrong color, you're the wrong religion. Is it possible to go beyond color? Is it possible to go beyond religion to have a great, wholesome relationship? What will you go beyond to find love? Will you be restricted by the person's color? Will you be restricted by the person's sexuality? Will you be restricted by the person's family, religion, nationality? Really, if we can't get basic relationships right, how are we going to get the world peace right? If we can't get the basic relationships even in our family right, how are we going to have world peace? We can talk and talk and talk about world peace. We can talk and talk and talk about healing. But if you are not practicing the healing, if you are not living and practicing the peace, how are you going to find healing in your relationships? How are you going to find peace in your soul? So relationships are very, very important on all levels. So here I'm talking about intimate relationships, relationships that touch you, relationships that move you, relationships that inspire you. At the other end, relationships that disempower you. I had a client saying, I've been waiting for my partner to do this for me. I've been waiting for 8 years. I've been waiting for 2 years. I've been waiting for years. And he still hasn't done it. He's not going to do it. She's not going to do it. If your partner hasn't done something they promised you that they would do, and they haven't done it, it may not be in their power to do it. They may not have it in their vortex, or it could be a form of control where they need to control you. And in controlling you, they're not feeding you what you need. So it becomes a will thing, a control thing, an issue of power control. And we all know this. We all know when we're being controlled in our relationships. Hello, Catherine. Clicksdale Reynolds, nice to have you. We're talking about relationships. I'm talking here in terms of intimate relationships. So as you're processing and activating your intimate relationship, I think the first intimate relationship you have is with yourself. Do you love yourself enough to engage in a relationship with another person? And is your heart open enough to invite another person into your heart so you can love and they can love you? You see, to love a person, you have to open your heart, and they have to open their heart. It's not one heart is open and the other is closed. Relationships involve both people opening their hearts and wanting to be in that relationship and working to it. You can't say, well, you hurt me, I'm going to leave you now. A real relationship doesn't just break up over one thing or the other because, we had a disagreement and decided to break up. You work at it, because as you're working with your karma. You're working with activating and bringing more deliciousness into your life. So of course I do one-to-one sessions. Of course I do my moon meditations, working with the rhythm of the moon. Of course I have my 8 weeks of forgiveness course, which you can always buy. I have 8 days of spiritual practice, which you can always get and anchor for yourself. This is about looking at ways that you can take responsibility for your relationship and make it work. How are you taking responsibility for your relationship? How are you Are you allowing the golden light in you to come out? Or are you being suppressed by your partner one way or the other? Or are you just constantly forgiving them? And then when you reflect, you may find that this is similar to how my mom and dad were. This is similar to how I grew up. Come, let's look at relationships. Let's look at how I, Tokes Beverly Coke, with Hands of Light, can help you to find true love. The first true love is the love you have for yourself. Once you can love yourself, you can really love a person in a wholesome way. So where in your life you need to open your heart to more love for yourself? Because if you're giving your power away to your partner, you're definitely not loving yourself. If you're giving your power away in your relationship, you're making your light small so that they can shine, and then you're dimming your light. We've just finished the full moon. The full moon was shining the light on what needs to be revealed, what needs to come out. So if it is the relationship of the aspects with your relationship with your partner, your intimate partner, where you need some refinement, and perhaps this is that part of this relationship isn't making me happy, I'm not so happy, I'm always doing this, I want some help, I need some support. If you are not communicating, how are they going to know? Also, perhaps you're communicating and they're not doing it. You want your husband to clean the porch, to do the garden, to do this, and 6 months later, they haven't had the time. They haven't had the time. Is it in their vortex to do it? Does it serve them, male or female, not to do what they're asked so that they can control you? So how many of you are in relationships where you're being controlled by your partner and you also are playing the control game? Well, I know she wants me to do this, but I'm going to do it because it suits me not to do it. It suits me to control. It is not in my good interest for me to help her with her garden, with the website, with the cooking, with the shopping, because it doesn't suit me. It suits me for her to do it or to wait for me or never to do it, because if I do it for her, she may go off. If I do it for him, he may find another woman. She may find, so there are many controlling aspects in relationships. And as I'm working with my clients, I'm finding that there are subtle signs when we're dealing with our intimate relationships. And how do we release and give ourselves the courage and the shift we need to go back and speak to our partner and say, you know what, I think we could do things differently. It would be nice if we tried something else. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work. It's how you approach it. And you must be at the right time and in the right way. You can't say, I have this and I think you should listen to me because I saw Tokes Beverly Coker and she said, no, we can't do it like that. Darling, could we have a discussion? I'd like to talk about one or two things that have been troubling me. I love you so much. But there are one or two things I'd like you and I'd like to help you to love me more so I can love you more. And I want you to tell me something I can do to help you to love me more, and I can love you more, and you can love me more. How can I love you more? How can you love me? What can I do so you can love me more? What can I do that will help me to understand you and help you to love me more? And the same, it's the opposite question. So the person can say, hey, I'm going to say like me, hey, Tokes, I love you so much. What can I do to help you love me more? Tokes, what can I do? What can I do to help you love me more so I can be more loved, so we can have a more engaging, loving relationship? You see, that dialogue in the relationship, that intimate relationship is important. Hello, May White. Nice to see you and hi. So what are we doing in our personal relationships, in our intimate relationships to empower? And I see couples having dinner, at the restaurants and looking at their phone. How can you engage in a relationship and be on the phone, doing business or texting? Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but that's not engaging. That's not involvement. That's not giving attention to your partner. Leave the phone. Put it down. Leave the phone. Look at the person in front of you. Engage in real life. Engage in real life and have a date, a proper date. Talk to the person. Talk about the food. Grumble, but stop holding your phone. Come on. Is that showing love and commitment and care and listening? Are you listening? Hello, Marion McAllister. Hi, we're talking about intimate relationships and what we're doing to each other, how we're empowering each other or disempowering each other. So I want you to think, hello, Bennett Brink. I want you to think, how are you empowering your intimate partner, the private partner? If you don't have a private partner, an intimate relationship, how do you empower your friends or the people around you? How are you disempowered by your partner? When your partner comes, do you rush to the door and say, hello, welcome, and give a hug? Or do you go, oh, hi, I'm busy here? Do you get up from your desk and go and give them a hug and say, welcome home? How about doing that for a change? How about changing the rhythm of your intimate relationship and engaging? How about saying, how was your day? And let them talk, and then you give space for you to share. So you're both sharing, not that one person is going on and on and on and on and on and on about their problem for an hour, and the other person hasn't said anything. You see, when you come home, hello, John Obo Manu, thank you for being here. So you want to listen to each other in your intimate relationships. Of course, you can. I have relationships, friends who, no, not friends, clients who come and they say, oh, we have great intimate relationship, but we don't talk. It's great in bed, but it's not great anywhere else. I've been with him for 3-4 years. It's so convenient. I love it, but we're not engaged. We don't have things that are similar. And well, would you like to have a little bit more than just that in your relationship? Would you like to have more intimacy? Would you like to have, I could share some ideas with you. We could see what works and what doesn't work. And because that's important, right? So they want you to listen, yes. All people want is attention. Yes, people want attention. So in a relationship, you want to feel valued, you want attention, you want to feel loved, you want to feel appreciated, you want to be honored, you want to be listened to. So are you listening to your partner? Is your partner listening to you? Are you giving to your partner? Is your partner giving to you? Are you caring for your partner? Is your partner caring for you? Are you going that bit extra for your partner? Are they going that bit extra for you? Are you carrying the shopping? Are they carrying the shopping? Are they opening the door? Are you opening the door? How are you nurturing each other and feeding? So today, for all of you watching, if you have a partner, I want you to say to your partner today, what one thing can I do for you that will enable you to love me more? What one thing can I do for you that will enable me to love you more and you to love me more? And then ask, what one thing can I do to you and for you that will enable you to love me more? And let them ask the same question to you. What one thing can they do for you so you can love them more? Do you understand? So just one exercise, that's all I'm giving all of you with relationships. How can you nurture? And say, oh, I can't say that to my wife. I can't say that to my boyfriend, my partner. Oh, they're going to think I'm wacky. They'll know I've come to someone like you, Tokes. Oh, no. Hey, if that one sentence empowers your relationship and brings you closer together, isn't that wonderful? And it could be that, when I come home, I'd like us to sit down and eat and talk together, not have the TV on. It could be, when I come home, I'd like you to come to the door and just greet me. And when you come home, I want to leave what I'm doing and also greet you. So can we start and introduce something new to our relationship so that when we come home, we rush from where we are in the house and we just give each other a hug. Hey, what does that cost? Not a penny, just care and attention. So today, what are you going to do to show love and appreciation and respect to your partner, male or female? What are you going to do? Or just ask them what they would like. Now, all you partners that say, oh, I don't need anything, stop it. Engage, do the exercise. Don't fold your shoulder, fold your arm, don't do that. Don't ask for beer and just drink and keep quiet and watch TV. Yes, TV is good because you want that mindless stuff, but you need engagement in your relationship. You need involvement. You need to feel that the person is you're loving and they must feel loved by you. So what could you do today or tomorrow or the next? What could you think? Think about relationships. Think. This full moon fires relationship. Of course, for those who are astrologers, we've got the Venus retrograde. So relationships are key. What needs to be healed in your relationship? If you don't know, book a session with me. Come together. Let me help you if you want and you're ready. Okay? So to the greatness, to the intimacy, to the joy of your relationships, your intimate relationships. Now, some intimate relationships are held together for various reasons. Some money, some property, some wealth, some intimacy, sex, physical pleasure, drink, alcohol, going out, socializing, engaging. Some are based on lies, some are based on truth. What is your relationship based on? And how is this relationship mirroring you? So if you're feeling really depressed or feeling trapped, is this because you're actually trapped in your relationship, depressed with your relationship, sorry for yourself in your relationship? Do you feel stifled? Do you feel negated? Do you feel like a shadow of yourself in this relationship? Or are you blooming and blooming and blooming? Relationships really are important. You see, the more you love yourself, the more you are able to give love to another person. And I'm not talking about loving yourself in terms of ego and pride. I'm talking about wholesome love, where you love yourself enough to be able to open yourself to another person, to be vulnerable, to be true, to have open conversation, to open the wounds and heal and see where the wound is. And you say, you hurt me when you said this. And you go, oh, I didn't know that hurt you. I wasn't aware. And you go, oh, you're being too emotional. No, stop telling each other you're being too emotional or too hard. Listen to each other. Listen, listen, listen. Listen. There's a song that says listen. I just can't remember that song. If anybody knows the name of that song that says listen, please share it in this. Hello, Jadranka. Oh, Jadranka. Roddick, how are you? We're talking about relationships. So I know that all of us have intimate relationships and all of us are involved. Now, the first intimate relationship is the relationship you have with yourself. If that relationship you have with yourself is rubbish, how on earth are you going to serve another? If you don't know how to love and nurture yourself, how are you going to love and nurture another? Okay, how? So I had a client who said, well, I had mine. I asked her to go and find hers. You know, I thought, come on. What kind of sharing is that? What kind of selfishness is that? I mean, if I was at home in Africa, in Nigeria, I'd have slapped him. But I can't do that because I'd be sued. So I said to him, I said, you know, if you were my mother, I said, if you were my child, I would slap you, but I can't slap you. But I just want you to feel yourself being slapped. And I want you to feel how it feels to your partner when you have made love to her and you've come, but she hasn't, and you say to her, go sort yourself out. How selfish is that? I mean, I am quite bold, so don't come to me if you don't want the honest truth. He didn't like me, so I think you have no right to say that to me. I said, no, I have no right to say that to you, but you're in my space and we've come for a relationship healing, and it's about this aspect of your life. And I'm not here to please you. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to work on a vibrational, spiritual level to help you to see. Because if your wife cannot help you or your partner cannot help you, you've come here and you've been sent here by the divine. Now, word calls. Hi, love. Okay. Can I just hold on? I just want to finish my live Facebook transmission. So I'm just going to say goodbye to all of you and say, please take care of yourself and each other. Bye-bye. Relationship calls. Bye. Client.